Hey everybody, Jay Reno here, welcome back. It's Warcraft 3 Reforged, hard difficulty. This is the last mission of the Night Elf campaign, the end of the old Reign of Chaos. But in new Warcraft 3 Reforged, it's all just one game, so this puts us about halfway through the whole thing. Twilight of the Gods, let's go. I think my original strategy will not work here, mostly because piercing damage does not do extra damage to heavy armor. The Night Elves, Orcs, and Humans gather to plan their defense of the mountain. So previously I would make Dryads and Hippogriff Riders, and again that piercing damage would nuke down Infernals and Doomguards, but that won't work as effectively here because of the armor and damage type changes to be consistent with Frozen Throne.
I'm sorry I'm late. It's just as we feared. Archimonde and his Doomguard are making their way towards the summit. He'll be here any moment.
10,000 years ago, we Night Elves defeated the Burning Legion. Though the rest of the world was shattered, we were left free to live out our immortal lives in peace, bound to the World Tree. We are its protectors, and through it we were granted immortality and power over nature. Now, at last, it is time we gave that power back.
You realize that we will age as these mortals do. Our powers over nature will wane in time.
If pride gives us pause, my love, then perhaps we have lived long enough already. I will proceed to the summit and prepare our defenses there. Whatever comes, my love, remember, our bond is eternal.
Hear me, Night Elves. The time for reckoning has come.
If you can provide our bases with support and keep us from being overwhelmed, Thrall and I will delay Archimonde's ascent.
Your plan is a bold one, girl. Perhaps I have misjudged you, Outlanders. May Elune shine upon you.
To
Alright.
arms, my brethren. To arms, brave orcs and humans. Twilight falls, and the enemy awaits.
Okay, so we get Hippogriff Riders. This time again, the piercing damage won't be nearly as effective. And then down here we've got Chandris and Tyrande. Let's put down our mines, I guess kind of in the front here.
So be it.
Then back up. There's Chandris. Maybe she can... Maybe she still gets possessed here or not. Maybe she's immune to that in Reforged, but I doubt it. So she's probably going to go down pretty quick. Okay, and then Malfurion, pick these up. I'm just doing this so that I can sell this stuff. Then we'll pick this up. We'll grab the stuff that's in there. And let's just grab these basic upgrades early. And I'm leaning towards...
Tyrande, the undead have begun to construct a new settlement. It won't be long before they start attacking our allies.
I think I'm leaning towards just making...
What threatens these lands?
just a lot of archers and Hippogriff Riders. I feel like that would be fine, ultimately. Let's go ahead and hotkey our production. We're going to need more production, ultimately. Let's get these ladies down there. Wow, they're just Hippogriffs. They're not ladies just yet. Okay, and then Malfurion, let's pick up your other items before we send you down there. Thought we did that. Okay, everybody get in there, help us out. Look out, buddy.
The undead are attacking. Send help.
Okay, so let's hotkey Malfurion, then we'll hotkey Tyrande separately. Searing Arrows is good. We'll do some inventory juggling between the two of them in a bit, and then we're just waiting for our extra stuff to get set up.
Research finished.
Okay, I set down the extra Hippogriff Riders, so let's put them up here. And then we're waiting, yeah, for those extra bases. That's about it. And then I'll probably want to just go ahead and send some wisps down and make production, probably just in the Orc base or right outside Jaina's base, and then we can always move it back later. We're still going to want dryads, I think, with
More lumber is required.
My strength
abolished
is
magic. Okay, this should be fine for now. Again, then
Someone
Tyrande,
tells the
and where is Malfurion? There he
The
is.
land and I are
So
one.
let's give her the claws, and then
The
give him
goddess
the
calls.
Periapt, like I had mentioned, and then let's send her
I
up
heed the
here
voice of Elune.
to buy more mines, and we can get some items that are in these crates as well. We should be good for a while here right
I'm
at the
listening.
beginning, I
Has
think.
sleep
Our time
dulled my
is
I
senses?
think.
Our allies.
And we're just going to go ahead and get more archers again. That's just for the beginning, and then let's go ahead and move on up.
Hush, little dog.
Tangling Roots something, and let's just go ahead and pop Rejuve, because that's what he's best at. And he can't get stunned out of it because of the necklace. Granted, I don't think there is anything that really
Research finished.
could stun him out of it in this wave, for example. Jaina's initial force is decent, but eventually, once she gets whittled away, her standing force is pretty
Our
miserable,
allies' town
unfortunately.
needs help.
I don't even know if there's anything in
Our
here.
warriors have engaged the enemy.
Nope.
Research finished.
Okay, let's sell that mantle. Those are healing wards. We'll keep those.
Immediately.
And I will get Moonglaive,
stand
sure. And then we've got these things getting set up. Let's just get another Ancient of
We can't
War.
Great outdoors.
And I guess we can get normal hippogriffs too, because those will do extra damage.
More lumber is required.
Just lumber right now. Let's get those wisps, and then our entangled gold mine should be finishing up here. So let's go ahead and get these saturated.
Your
And
building is complete.
we're going to need one more Moonwell. We could actually build Moonwells down here.
What threatens
I
these
heed the
lands?
voice.
Okay, break, break, break. Is there anything in here? If there is, we can always sell it. Oh, just more mines. That's
As the
nice.
goddess wills.
Our
Buy
allies'
those.
town needs help. Your building is
Go,
complete.
just enough money.
So be it.
It's nice that those stack, so we can not worry as much about inventory management. Not as much. And then back up, and again, see, this is, I see things getting dispelled as stuff gets crippled. This is why we have Dryads, really only to dispel magic. So that's positive. And let's go ahead and hotkey these as well.
Our warriors have engaged
Your
the
building
our
is
allies' town
complete.
needs help.
And then occasionally we'll just make more hippogriffs, send them down, and then get them mounted. Okay, and then Chandris,
get
I guess
going.
I'll hotkey you, but again, she's gonna go
ready.
down pretty quick. It's all right though.
time is now.
The land and
Okay,
I
Furion,
are
why don't you
one.
come out and start giving us some trees?
I
The
stand
goddess
And then
calls.
Tyrande, why don't we put down more mines? Again, we'll kind of
I
put these in the
am-
back, so as they get closer, we can kill them.
Immediately.
It works
As
really
the
well with like
goddess
Infernals,
wills.
for example. The whole idea is the Infernals, they get dropped by that enemy
goddess
hero, and then
calls.
they get blown up by the mines. And so
I
I think I'm
am-
just gonna play this
Your move.
semi-normally, like as stuff dies, it dies. So if Jaina's base goes down, that is
Our
fine. You
allies'
know, it's
town
just the way it's going to
insufficient
be. Let's
gold.
go ahead and get some more wisps down here for more production, and then let's wait for gold. Okay, now Furion, move up. Go ahead and rejuve and grab Thorn's Aura. Jaina, why are you backing up?
stand ready.
the
Our
great
allies' town needs help.
Buy more.
Insufficient gold.
I heed the voice of
And yeah,
Elune.
we need more gold, actually. And we just have more units making their way down here. Rejuve is doing its thing. Rage Winter Chill is here now, and then once Rejuve wears off, we just Entangling Roots him.
Ashra
Buy another stack.
Our
Someone
allies'
protect
town
Maybe I'll just
needs
hold
help.
on to these and not necessarily put them down. Oh, okay. I think that was a Dryad that died there. Alright, so this is the first like main enemy attack. Okay, Entangling Roots, that's good. And we'll just grab Thorn's Aura. Keep making archers, and then another Wisp, which again I would like. More Ancients of War. Again, for more archers. Tyrande is here, so we can start using Starfall more often.
What threatens these lands?
Point the way.
Chandris
I
died.
stand ready.
That's fine. We
As
didn't see it,
sleep
so she just
dulled my
escaped into the
senses.
abyss. That's the way we'll think about it.
For Kalimdor,
Okay, grab more trees.
Anudora.
And the way that this mission works is basically the enemy attacks you in ever-increasing waves until they break through a base. Once they break through a
The land
base,
and I are one.
then you get some time to kind of hang back, and then everything
Kalimdor.
sort of resets.
Anudora.
Okay, and then rejuve, and then go ahead and turn on searing arrows. Let's move these ladies back. And see, the main issue is that, again, these Hippogriff Riders don't do the damage that I need them to do against Doom Guards. I'm just going to keep making archers and just rally them down here. Malfurion can sit here and read you forever. That's what he's best at. Okay, archers dying, and let's keep getting those upgrades, specifically for archers. Again, archers are cheap, they're supply efficient, and that's why I think I'm just going to keep making them.
Your building is complete.
Probably want to just get some Moonwells down here as well. And for the most part, I'd say this is going okay. Obviously, we're short on gold. We're in low upkeep.
Town needs help.
Lumber income is not great. I'm going to get Moonwells. What I could do is get wisps, more wisps down here.
Insufficient gold.
And we can build a tree down here. And that could help. It could, I mean, it might be worth it. It's really just, we're going to be spending our money constantly to get more units, because we want to get maxed out and then stay maxed out. We have one cannon tower still alive. That's positive.
I heed the voice of Elune.
Okay, and again, we want to put the mine sort of in the back, I think. There we go. And I'll probably just use Starfall in the next wave. The only hero that can stun her is the guy that calls down the Infernals, and I don't think he's going to be coming with this wave.
I stand ready.
Should be okay. Keep giving me more archers and dryads. Already in high upkeep. This is like a large air attack, it looks like. I can't Entangling Roots flying stuff, can I? Let's just go ahead and set this up. Yeah. And I think I canceled the rejuve because I moved Malfurion after. That's fine. Ultimately, we're fine. And then Tyrande gets a level. Again, kind of sloppy here, but that's all right. Tyrande, why don't you go and grab more mines? Pot of Invulnerability could be good for her, too, in certain circumstances.
What threatens these lands?
Back up. Or die. That's fine, too, I guess.
The great outdoors.
Okay, and I'm just gonna again keep building these Moonwells here, and I need to just constantly be making stuff. So making mostly Ancients of War here. We can get some Ancient Protectors too.
Has sleep dulled my senses?
There's a really smooth cancellation of Rejuve that time. Let me tell you, I did not use Starfall. She's not going to be back in time, actually. I don't want to be making these runs too much with them for the mines. I think it's going to become wasteful eventually. Oh, I couldn't afford enough. We'll wait. There we go. Send them back. Maybe staying in low upkeep is the right choice.
Has sleep dulled my senses?
Okay, so wait for them to get close. We can... Oh, there's a Netheron. Okay, so this is one where... This is the guy who calls down Infernals, and this is why we want the mines. Alright, and then... I guess more Moonwells, and what I can do is send down more Hippogriffs. And how are my upgrades? Okay, so we've got +2 coming up. We're going to probably want to upgrade our... I mean, we want all the upgrades eventually by the end of this. We do get a nice reprieve here, that's for sure. Let's set these up. And then we'll keep Tyrande down here. I should also break these crates, because who knows what's in them.
What threatens these lands?
Just stuff that we can use to some degree. Here they come.
It shall be
Getting
done.
trees would have been good. I guess I can get trees back here.
Done.
That's too late. That's fine.
Odometer.
Okay, let's get Dryads.
The land and I are
Use
one.
Entangling Roots somewhere, and then go ahead and rejuve. And then Tyrande, I'm not going to Starfall, because again, she can get very easily stunned out of it. And then again, the whole idea with the mines is that the Infernals land, and then they don't instantly die, but they die pretty fast. And we're just going to get maxed out on archers, I think. And the big key is going to be resources. And again, because our archers aren't as efficient in general as they were in Reign of Chaos, you know, they're not nearly as good. But that's why I'm making archers and not Hippogriff Riders, because Hippogriff Riders are very expensive, both in terms of supply and gold. So if I don't need to, you know, what's the point of making those, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, grab your last level of Entangling Roots. But yeah, that's my thought, is like there's just no point in making too many because of the supply cost and the gold cost when I could just have a shit ton of normal archers.
Has sleep dulled my senses?
Alright, and then the next attack anytime there's an attack with 2 heroes, that's where we want to use the
What is nature's call?
Starfall. and where a Netheron is not there. Keep going, improved moon armor. Let's just queue all these up. I'll even get Ultravision.
What threatens these lands?
Okay, back up.
Has sleep dulled my senses?
We got Rage Winter Chill coming in with a lot of Banshees. I think that is not even necessarily worth...
Waiting on you. Someone.
I don't think that's even worth the Starfall, to be honest, but...
these lands? I know Dawn.
Okay, so let's go ahead and Entangling Roots here, and then Rejuve.
Is there trouble?
Now Furion getting hit pretty hard, but that's okay. We put all the survivability items on him for a reason. He's going to be level 10. And we have Dryads to dispel some of this stuff.
Is there trouble?
They die very easily, but that's okay. I think it's worth it. Is he death and decaying? I don't think so. Okay, Tyrande, let's go and just buy more mines. Again, I'll hold on to Janie's base for as long as possible, but I'm not going to go out of my way to... You know, if it's starting to fall, it's not like I'm going to, like, replay the map is kind of the point. Whereas in my previous playthrough, I got pretty far into the map. I would say to, like, 20 minutes or so, and then decided to replay it because I wanted to...
Someone threatens the
wanted to get,
By Elune.
to save Janie's base. I'm not as intrigued in doing that this time.
On your mark.
So mostly archers and dryads, as I've said, and then we just keep making moonwells down here to heal us up, and we can get some ancient protectors to sit in the back, but there's just so much that kills those. So much that kills those, I just don't see the point. Actually, don't make that, because we need money to buy the...
Research finished. The goddess calls.
To buy the goblin landmines. It's a pretty big attack, specifically with the Frostworms, so I might not even mount up the Hippogriffs, because they're pretty good versus air. Hello!
I stand ready.
And again, we strategically have the mines in the back to kill the Infernals. Otherwise, they're just kind of wasted on trash units that sit in the front. They don't need to be used there. Okay, send her back, and then Malfurion. Can we maybe grab some more trees?
For Kalimdor.
Our heroes are all leveled up. That's great. Don't break that tree because they've got the Sentinels hanging up there. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we should mount the Hippogriffs. If we got the Hippogriffs, mount them up. That's absolutely worth it. Upgrades, all looking good. Let's queue these up.
Gold.
The land and I are one.
And having the extra supply is obviously really useful. Do we have a hero in this wave?
Our allies' town needs
Yes,
help.
we've got Asgalor. Okay, make an effort to not stand in that. Tyrande's back. Again, I haven't used Starfall at all. It's kind of like it's kind of like a challenge to me to like not necessarily use it. If I don't have to, I'm not gonna. Okay, throw those down. As long as my heroes are safe, this is fine. Gotta kill the Frostworms. And our supply's looking good. It's very challenging to tell what's even happening in these fights. As long as Jaina's doing her thing and she's still alive. You know, sometimes dropping in the low upkeep is probably for the best. Tyrande with Searing Arrows having no mana problems at all. I appreciate that. I wish I could click on that to see how much,
Our allies' town needs help. Are we being invaded?
what the cooldown is on the mines, because I'd like to just go and buy even more. Again, because they're useful. Okay, I'm definitely going to use Starfall next wave, because I think that's where we have a double hero wave. I'm not sure. Again, the double hero wave's the worst. God, this guy is also the worst. Tangling Roots. And down he goes. Back up all the archers. I need more dryads, I think. Add this to my hotkey group so we can get even more archers. I mean, I can get some huntresses as well. Relatively cheap, and the Moonglaive will be good. It's just they're so fragile.
I stand ready.
Something is amiss.
Back in high upkeep.
It shall be done.
That's the challenge, the upkeep situation.
Are we being invaded?
Someone threatens the wilds.
Okay, and then we'll put the mines down.
So
I think we're due for an Anetheron wave here pretty soon. I see lots of
The
Infernals.
goddess calls.
Again, if I was super serious about keeping Jaina's base alive, I'd be more vigilant with going and getting more mines, but it's just not necessary. 30 minutes basically means there's an incoming enemy attack that's supposed to say, "Hey, it's time to leave." I am actually going to go ahead and Starfall here because we haven't. It's time. it's time. We need to
What is nature's call?
we need to do it. Our dryads die very quickly in the back because of meat wagons, actually. Starfall, I like the look of Starfall here. And that should just thin this wave out so that we can just get more units quickly. I'm actually going to remove this from my hotkey group because I don't want units running from
Our allies
all the way up
town
top,
needs
except for
help.
Hippogriff Riders, who are, you know, they're fine to add to this. And so now we've just got these, and what I might do is make an Ancient of Lore,
I stand ready.
just so that we can get these units out faster. Once Jaina's base falls, we're going to need more,
Someone threatens the wilds. Immediately.
Actually, you know what? Well, honestly,
As
the
the
True
goddess
Shot aura is
wills.
huge here. I was going to say, go and grab more mines, because we're due for an Anetheron wave
there
here pretty
trouble?
soon.
Making trails. Glad.
And I think we just want to make sure we spread out so that not every archer gets hit by Rain of Fire.
On your mark. Point the way.
I mean, a Druid of the Claw to also roar could be pretty good, so we can get those upgrades. Do I have anything that's like queued up that I could cancel to ensure that we stay in no upkeep? It looks like no, unfortunately. All for this one Hippogriff. Not no upkeep, but low upkeep. Would have been worth it.
Waiting on you. Our time is now.
All right. And then just, I think, Ancient Protectors and Moonwells. We can even grab a few more Wisps. Come on down here. And what attack do we... This is a very large attack. It looks like we've got Rage, Winter Chill, and Asgalore. This is where we should have used Starfall, but it's too late now. That's all right.
Research finished.
It is what it is. Okay, and there's the mines already. You notice helping us out. So we're just going to, again, leave Malfurion in the front. I'm actually going to use a healing ward here.
Research finished.
Use Entangling Roots there, and then Rejuve. And then wait, the Rejuve stacks. The Rejuve definitely stacks with the healing ward. I think they already killed the healing ward, but that's okay. Again, this is a pretty rough wave, and this is the wave that's supposed to kill you. You're supposed to die to this, as if to say, hey, fall back to the orc base. But we won't do that. We're looking pretty good. We should survive this. It's really the enemy casters that are a pain in the ass. Rejuve is still ticking. All right, and again, lots of archers seem to be doing the job for us. Jaina's in there somewhere. Just keep Entangling Roots to stop them. He's gonna. I think he may not have Resurrect because he used it recently. Does he have a little gravestone? Yeah, there goes his spirit. So he doesn't get it. Okay, so in the future, let's make sure that we save Starfall for the double hero waves. And again, those are the waves that are supposed to be the ones that are like, okay, it's time for you to fall back now, player. So the longer that you can continue holding out after that, the better, as you can imagine. Because it's just an indication that, again, in terms of just the length of the mission, it's relatively simple now to just fall back to the orc base. Once they kill Jaina's base, what happens is the strength of the enemy attacks sort of resets back to 0, which makes things a lot easier, and you buy yourself basically a ton of time. So again, Jaina just keeps doing her thing. We're just going to keep getting archers. Low upkeep is fine with me. We need to save some money. Malfurion sits in here like a baller. I'm definitely spending more money in general on units than I had previously on my previous hard difficulty playthrough. Alright, and again, as long as Jaina's in here, she's doing her thing. We get more mines.
Someone threatens the wild.
I stand ready.
We're gonna need a safety Moonwell eventually, too. And frankly, it's very challenging for me to even read what's happening in these fights, so I just sort of let it happen, and again, if Jaina's base goes down, then we just fall back to the orc base. I'm not trying to do like a semi-challenge run here or anything like that. I just want to beat the mission. You can go watch my previous playthrough, though, where I did save Jaina's base. I thought that was a pretty cool accomplishment.
The goddess calls.
Okay, and then mines, because I think Anetheron's going to be next wave.
Thoraman.
Has
I
sleep
stand ready.
dulled my senses?
Ah, the great outdoors.
The goddess calls.
And I can't really afford more production, so I'm not even going
Has
to build it.
sleep dulled my senses?
Why don't we come out here and grab more trees for the next wave?
For Kalimdor.
It is an Asgalore wave. And that's one where you probably maybe want to wait for him to get close, entangling roots, and then
What
start
threatens
rejuving.
these lands?
You know what? I haven't been doing it. Upgrades. That would make a big difference.
I stand
I haven't really
ready.
been able to afford them, honestly. Okay, and again, I could get more Moonwells, more Ancient Protectors, anything that distracts. I think that the meat wagons will prioritize the Moonwells and not my Dryads. So that could make a noticeable difference. Again, you see those Infernals go down really quick to the mines. That's why I have those.
Someone threatens the wild.
Okay, I have Starfall up, but if I've learned, I have learned, we don't want to use that right away. Jaina's force is really pathetic. Again, she just sort of stops building stuff at a certain point. I guess we'll rejuve now because I thought Asgalore was coming, but he's not. So she has a bunch of pre-placed stuff, and that's all well and good, but at a certain point, once all of her pre-placed stuff is gone, all she builds is one footman, one rifleman, one priest, and one sorceress. And that's it. That's her defensive force. It's like, it's worse than what she built in By Demons Be Driven, but I think the whole point is you're not supposed to be staying in this base for very long. So, I get it. I get it.
Ah, the great
And at least she rebuilds something. At least she rebuilds a little
Your
bit, you know?
building
That's
is complete.
better than nothing, I guess. Okay, and then these wisps, why don't we throw down some Ancient Protectors sort of in the back?
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Alright, we've got a Scroll of Healing here. I guess let's break these just to see what's in them. This would be a good time to go and get more mines, maybe. It's possible we're going to get a double hero attack again. If we can get to 20 minutes before I even bother
By Elun.
falling back, that would be really good. Our supply isn't looking great, but I also don't have the resources really.
Immediately. Immediately.
Starfall is sort of like a free wave, so
What
if
is
we can
nature's call?
On your mark.
if we can we could Starfall one wave and then say, okay, Jaina's base, we'll let it go.
What threatens these lands?
Could be the right
I
choice.
stand
I don't know.
ready.
For Kalimdor.
Okay, here they come. We're not going to get these trees
It
out in
shall
time, I
be
don't think.
done.
Again, that's really
As
just to
your
distract them and
building
clump
is
them up
senses.
if we're going to do Starfall.
Our warriors have engaged.
No Asgalore. This is another wave where there's no hero coming in. I'm fine with that.
Is
It's
there
sort of
trouble?
spread out a little bit.
I stand ready.
Oh no, this is definitely this is the hero wave we want to Starfall because I don't think there's anything here that can stun her out of it. Oh, she might die actually. Should have dropped a healing wave beforehand. All right, we got to stop. We got to cancel it. Actually, she can be stunned out of it by Doom Guards that just stomp the crap out of her.
Champion has fallen.
All right, that's going to result in us having to fall back without a doubt.
I stand
Malfurion's
Your
fine
building
though.
is complete.
Research finished.
I just needed her to cancel that or use that a little bit further back, and we would have been fine. All right, this is probably where Jaina's going to go down, but honestly, I think this is an acceptable time for that.
Has sleep dulled my senses?
Thrall's base is pretty defensible, and what I'm going to do is start building wisps and have them sit in
warriors
Thrall's
have
base so that we
engaged
can
the
build
enemy.
some defense.
The land and I are one.
Okay, no upkeep it's sort of about time. Again, we'll survive this wave, but what I'm
sacred
going to do
grove
is
is being
uproot these and
desecrated.
move them back because it is time. It is time to do that. We're going to go ahead and set them up back here. It's going to take them a while to get back there.
What
Our
threatens these
allies'
lands?
town.
But again, I'm happy to, have this wave push back, and you can see they're continuing to push in after this. He has Resurrect. Just kill Rage Winter Chill, please.
Anudora.
Our warriors have
grove
engaged.
And
the
rest in
enemy.
peace, poor Jaina. We're going to need to build more
Our
Moonwells as well,
allies'
because we're
town
not
needs
totally maxed out in Moonwells. Again, at this rate, we probably will be able to do this without Thrall's base falling. The dynamic is just so much different because the whole piercing damage thing, it's just different.
An allied champion. Our allies' town needs
Okay,
help.
so now we have a
Dulled
huge
my
amount of time
senses.
at this point to just sort of get rebuilt and resettled. So don't be concerned if, you start losing stuff at this point. I suppose what I can do is re-add these to my hotkeys because they're closer. I'm holding shift. Is there an issue with how this? Oh, it's because they're not. It's because they're standing. They're not. You know what I mean? They're not rooted. All right, so let's just get these extra units. Yeah, dryads are just like I don't want to say they're nerfed, but there's a huge difference now with the dryads.
Our sacred grove is being
needs help.
desecrated.
Why don't you just go sit by the Moonwell
The goddess
or the
calls.
healing fountain, and then Tyrande? Now, it's easier to go back and forth and get mines now. That's a thing.
Your move.
Okay, and what I'm going to do is build ancient protectors just sort of in his base.
Your building is complete.
Just sort of within it to
I
help
stand
out.
ready.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Okay, and let's just burrow these trees, root these trees sort of around.
You are very brave to stand against me, little human. If only your countrymen had been as bold, I would have had more fun scouring your wretched nations from the world.
Is talking all you demons do?
Got him.
Stormrage, show yourself. Or do you intend to have mortal girls do all your fighting for you?
So what I needed to do ultimately was put down a healing ward and then put Tyrande in the back.
The undead have constructed a new settlement. They are mustering new forces to send at us.
And then
I stand ready.
Starfault from
Our
there,
allies'
and
town
everything would have
needs
been
help.
fine. But unfortunately, that is not what I did, and it didn't work out.
Look around.
I heed the voice.
But again, at the end of the day, I think it's fine. We're just going to
So
put the
be it.
mines just sort of around.
As the goddess wills.
Again, you can go watch my other
Ah, the
playthrough if you're
great
interested
outdoors.
in seeing me
So
keep
be
Jaina's
it.
base alive. I'm sure there's a
When
relatively
ready.
simple way to do it here too, but
Fair enough. I
again, because
stand
the way that
ready.
the damage values are changed in that's not like an excuse per se, but
Our
I
warriors
didn't
have
take the
engaged
time
the
to
enemy.
bother. Didn't take the time to bother to figure it out. Or really put much thought into this. I kind of wanted to just play it. It's been a while since I've had the
The
opportunity
goddess calls.
to play this from scratch and have a good time doing it. So I'm happy
Your
to,
warriors have
again,
engaged
have the
the enemy.
opportunity to
I stand ready.
sort
Your
of go in and
building
have a
is com-
relatively
your
fresh
building is
experience.
complete.
And again, that is because
Your
just something as
building
simple
is
as the
complete.
damage value changing on a difficult mission.
On your mark.
I think that's good. I think that's good to, again,
Done.
finally have the opportunity to do that.
Our
Never finished my
warriors have
upgrades.
engaged
That
the enemy.
probably would help. I think the
Someone
biggest
comes
difference
alive.
is specifically the
I stand ready.
the dryads, the dryad armor values, and the fact that the dryads don't do good damage against the infernals, so they just sort of die. Now you just sort of need them in order to help you.
We're under attack. Send reinforcements quickly.
We're here. You sort of just need them to dispel, and that's it. Every extra one that you make is semi-wasteful just because they die so easily and quickly. Let's just keep making wisps. And this is what I mean by the enemy attacks reset. The enemy attacks are relatively small now, and they are not going to be causing
I
us
stand
many
ready.
problems at all. Yeah, sure, we'll get some Druids of the Call. Let's diversify a little
The
bit.
land and I are
The
one.
goddess calls.
Again, let's have a little fun and make some different stuff. I found Thrall's defensive force. This is one where I don't know how much he
What
rebuilds
threatens
compared to
these
Jaina.
lands?
It's kind of a pain that he just doesn't really
For
rebuild that
Kalimdor.
much.
Point the way. Say no.
Now, I was going to say, this should be
I
just
stand
ghouls,
ready.
ghouls and crypt fiends.
Your building is complete.
What threatens these lands?
And I think we got, double the amount of efficiency, time efficiency out of Jaina's base. A lot of it just has to do with when you use Starfall. You gotta use it at just the right time.
The sleeper has awakened.
And that's it. Will he repair his towers? I doubt it. That's fine.
I'm awake.
Okay, and then I've been building more wisps,
Goddess,
and again, this is just for
light
more
my
ancient
path.
protectors, just sort of line Thrall's defensive area with
Research
them.
finished.
And they'll die to meat wagons, but as long as we have some units as well in the front, and I think our archers take reduced damage from the meat wagons. So they attack frequently, but again, it's relatively simple. They are leveled up completely, but otherwise, this is, we should be fine. Might as well get pretty much fully leveled out, or maxed out at this point.
Waiting on you.
I was gonna say, I know I built another hippogriff. There you go.
My strength is
Just put our army in the front and try to preserve Thrall's base as much as possible.
Where shall I
we'll just turn 2 you into bears. I just want to keep one here to roar every wave, and that's it.
Ready.
These 2 are gonna die. It's fine.
Has sleep dulled my senses?
That's right. Might be worth putting some more sentinels. No, I mean we can see them. It's fine. Oh, and the bloodlust too on the archers. The thing with the archers is just their damage output is great. I mean, so are the hippogriff riders. It's the same though. So the fact that you have to make a hippogriff, which is, it's 2 extra supply plus the cost of it. It just doesn't seem worth it to have the flying unit, which again is because the piercing damage was semi-nerfed as well. It just doesn't seem as good. So eventually, if he destroys Thrall's base, and he may or may not, depending on how well we play, or I might let him do it anyway so that we can see the cutscenes.
I heed the voice of Elune.
Again, the same thing will happen. The enemy attack waves sort of reset at a certain point. So there's a lot of baked-in leeway on this map that some people might not realize. And it has to be that way because holdout maps can really suck if you get really far into them and then just get steamrolled at the very, very end. So the whole idea is there are iterations in these bases where it's very easy to recover when one base falls. And I think that was actually a very smart design decision. Regardless of your thoughts on the mission as a whole, I think the way that they design it as a holdout mission is very good. There are ways to cheese this map with mines. You use the mines and destroy the enemy bases. You also used to be able to make hippogriff riders and fly around the edges and kill their acolytes. Someone had mentioned that the acolytes were made invulnerable, but it doesn't look that way.
The land and
doesn't look that way.
One.
Nice stasis ward, dude.
Something is amiss.
Is it gonna? There, I was gonna say, is it gonna trigger? There we go. Yeah, it's a Netheron. Okay. That's fine. You all get in there. Some tangling roots here and give me some trees. In general, this base is easier to defend because there are more angles for the enemy to attack from, so they don't all clump up in one direction to steamroll your army. There are more trees to get easy treants from as well. Just a lot of little things that make it, mildly easier. All right, give me a roar. And did he not drop Infernals? It's possible he didn't have enough mana to use his ult. I don't know. The bears actually survived for a decent amount of time here because of the rejuve. And I would say if you can get to at least 10 minutes, or at most 10 minutes, I guess. It depends on how you look at it in terms of the phrasing of that. Basically, if you can get below 10 minutes on the timer, then you've increased the efficiency of Thrall's base significantly. I think you're supposed to spend about 15 minutes in each base, and then hold out for the last 10 minutes in your base. So again, if we can get past 10 minutes, then again, we've gotten good efficiency out of Thrall's base. I guess I'll go ahead and make some more hippogriffs now. The flying is pretty decent, especially once they stop coming with fewer and fewer
dulled my senses.
Fewer and fewer crypt fiends to pull them out of the sky. It's just, again, the piercing damage suffered a decent nerf because there isn't much coming in that's unarmored or light at this point. And we don't really have much that does good magic damage. Again, that was a big Night Elf nerf for the Reign of Chaos missions in particular. When you think about it, entangling roots, give you some trees. I guess the whole idea is I'm trying to use Starfall as little as possible, also to kind of show you that this mission isn't too bad. I don't think so, at least. I don't think this mission's that bad at all. See, like, we're going to do more against the Necromancers, but there aren't that many Necromancers with these attacks. The issue, again, are the Meat Wagons, the Doom Guards, the Infernals, and the Fell Guards, and those all have heavy armor. So, again, a lot of the the high damage output of the Night Elves is nerfed in that particular instance. I guess maybe if I made an effort to at least try to move some of my units, you know, then we'd be good. I think I think it runs out at 30 seconds. Yeah, and then we Entangling Roots to stop him from casting Frost Nova.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Point the way.
Very nice. I am sitting right above high upkeep. I need to either commit and just make way more units, or I need to give it a rest and get into low upkeep.
We can't build there.
Can use these wisps to at least make some stuff.
Has sleep dulled my senses? What threatens these
All right,
lands?
some more mines. I mean, the mines don't hurt. You definitely, I mean, again, based on how much time, extra time we got out of Jaina's base, imagine if we didn't make mines at all, maybe we would have had to fall back on the first double hero wave, and you basically beat the map in the intended timings. You could also get a pot of invulnerability for Tyrande in order to cast the Starfall.
So be it.
Okay, yeah, just go ahead and put those down. And you get a nice view of what they're coming in with. This is a lot of gargoyles, so let's back up with the Hippogriff Riders. Alright, and it's not... I mean, again, like, there's some stuff that's consistent with Frozen Throne and some stuff that's not. Like, you can't get the upgrades that these guys can roar in bear form, for example. Again, just one example. Mount up. Any heroes on this one? No, so just Entangling Roots you, and then Reju. And this is where just the Ancient Protectors and Archers are going to absolutely slaughter this wave. So it's kind of hard for me to tell if this mission is easier or harder. It seems exactly the same, minus the fact that, again, piercing damage doesn't do the extra versus heavy. So in that way, it does seem like it might be naturally a little harder. But I'm really leaning towards still, like, mass Hippogriff Riders and just straight-up Archers. If we would have timed our Starfall properly, we probably could still be in Jaina's base, holding out there, no problem. So, I'm less concerned about the ultimate strategy here. I'm having a good time with the map. Let's grab some more Wisps for more Ancient Protectors, because for the most part, they're not dying. They're not dying. And again, because the whole idea is the enemy attack waves reset in their intensity when you retreat from one base to the next. Again, understanding that really helps you sort of gauge where you need to be at the timer. You know, a lot of people, they probably are, they start feeling stressed when Jaina's base and then Thrall's base are going down. But as long as it's happening at a certain point in the timer, you have plenty of time to get back to max supply as you fall back, and it's fine. And then, lastly, you have a fountain of health that you can sit by and build a bunch of Ancient Protectors for later, so... It's all good. What I could do is, actually, I have Ancient Protectors sitting in my base. Why don't we just uproot them and move them down here? Okay, just rejuve, because this is mostly air attacks. And again, this is where just, like, straight-up Archers. Seems like it'll be fine. I'll get some Dryads to mix in here, too. Dryads pretty high on the supply count, though, which is why I haven't been making nearly as many of them, because they've been semi-nerfed. I'm going to trust Thrall to be able to handle this. Repair your watchtower, buddy. Is he? It's gonna go down. No, not the watchtower.
The land and I are one.
I mean, Thrall's units in general are just stronger. Like, the Horde units, like his spellcasters, are arguably better. I mean, getting the occasional inner fire from Jaina was good, but as far as I can tell, Thrall seems to keep, like, the fact that he has a Tauren in his defensive force and seemingly will rebuild it because he has a Tauren totem, that's big. Compared to Jaina, again, who basically makes no effort in maintaining a defensive force.
I stand ready.
Okay. And then, like, why don't you just go on auto-repair? What's next? If it's a hero wave, maybe we'll use Starfall. We can go ahead and buy some more mines. Might as well dump our... If you're maxed out and you have a lot of money, mines are always good. I mentioned this before, but there was someone who's like, Jay Barino, I bet you can't even beat this without mines. Or like, you know, it's so much harder if you don't use mines because you're cheesing it. I mean, they're a tool on the map to use. It's not really cheesing it. They're there for you to buy. I'm not... Cheesing it would be using them to destroy buildings, which I did do in King Arthas, which I don't think is the hardest mission. It's just an annoying and long mission. So, I don't know, maybe I will or will not use mines on that one, but anything that can spare myself a little extra time, I will probably do on those types of missions. That's a lot of Necromancers. Well, that's where our Archers are going to come into play.
Our time is now.
But again, the example that I have
What
pointed
is
to in the
nature's
past is if you watch my previous
Waiting
playthrough, I mean, there's so many missions where mines aren't available. I use mines on like maybe 3 of the 60+ missions. Again, when there are mines, it's sort of like, yeah, you should use them because they're kind of fun, I think. Okay, we got Rage Winter Chill coming in. Give me some trees. Maybe we'll just wait for him to Death and Decay. Will he Death and Decay? You need a certain amount of buildings, I think, clustered. But the point is, there are a lot of hard missions, and frankly, it's most of them you don't have mines available. So, like, if you go and you watch, Dreadlord's Fall or a new Power in Lordaeron, I'm not using mines on those missions. Symphony of Frost and Flame, probably the best example. We'll see how Symphony of Frost and Flame goes on this playthrough. I think I got a little lucky with some of the timings previously when I played it last time. So again, we'll see how it goes. It may or may not go well. We're hitting that 10-minute mark on Thrall's base, so I think we'll be fine. And then we'll rejuve next wave. I have, you know what? I think this is a good time to just plop a healing ward down. Heal us in the meantime.
I heed the voice of Elune.
And because I haven't been making as many mine trips, having Tyrande here with True Shot Aura makes a big, big difference. Big, big difference. It's like, yeah, sure, let's get some Druids of the Flippin' Talon. Get some Fairy Fire going, you know what I'm saying? They can die really fast.
As sleep dulled my senses.
Who's coming with this one? Nobody. Might as well entangling with somebody. And the other thing, too, is it's sort of like you might as well rejuve unless you think Malfurion would provide better fire support for something else. Because the cooldown will be up every wave. Man, these Dryads just get absolutely nuked down by the meat wagons. Oh, there's a Netheron. Okay.
Is there trouble?
That's okay. Okay, and honestly, the Ancient Protectors that are sort of further back behind our army, they're not getting hit as much by the meat wagons. And the reason for that is, they're sort of wasted otherwise. They're sort of wasted otherwise. I like how, again, Netheron's just he's a real beefy boy. And I'm glad it's not just in the cutscene, like it's actually in-game. He's just like a huge, fat Dreadlord.
Our warriors have engaged
Go ahead
the
and
enemy.
repair. More Ancient Protectors. I mean, ultimately, as long as you have an army to snipe meat wagons. As long as you have an army to snipe meat wagons, mass Ancient Protectors will work. But they do come with so many meat wagons, it's supposed to incentivize you to not make Ancient Protectors. And if you don't realize that fast enough, you're probably going to lose.
Point the way.
I think this is a well done, last mission. Sort of like Eye of the Storm, also pretty well done.
It's
It can be overwhelming though, that's for sure.
Something is amiss.
We've got mines, so let's throw them down. Let's put them over here actually, because this side is irritating me. What do we got? Pretty big attack here, Asgalore. That might be a good one to Starfall.
These lands?
Might as well. Again, we haven't been using Starfall. It's about that time. And you want to make sure that you don't have like a solid wall of Ancient Protectors, because then Thrall's units will get stuck.
By the great winds I come.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's right, Jay Barino's building Druids of the Talon.
Is running low.
I heed the voice of Elune.
The land and I are one.
Alright, there's Asgalore. You know what, just do it, it's fine. Okay, and then go ahead and Tranquility. This is another one where she doesn't need to be in the front to cast that. Malfurion you need right there in the front. But she can be pretty far away, and Tranquility will be firing. Damn right, we got Fairy Fires going off. That'll be pretty decent against the heroes, I guess. Okay, she got stunned out of it, it looks like, by something. Malfurion can't be stunned. Honestly, the MVP of this mission is Necklace of Spell Immunity. You can see, I'm not even really doing anything. I think this mission is just sort of fun to make your army, and as long as you're building something, you're probably going to be fine. As long as you stay relatively close to the supply cap, you're probably going to be able to beat this. So again, on one hand, the piercing damage, it's not a nerf, but the piercing damage difference, Tangling Roots here. the piercing damage difference is that is kind of offset by the fact that you get 10 extra supply. So I assume the enemy waves seem about the same. They seem pretty much, they've got the same stuff in them.
Your move.
It's too bad we couldn't keep Chandris alive.
All too easy.
I was wondering if maybe the Hippogriff Rider would inherit the bloodlust, but that is not true. It's not every day that you can test something like that out. Okay, here they come again. Healing word duration is going to go out soon. We should be up for a Rage Winter Chill attack soon. Yeah, we've got 6.5 minutes. Should be pretty much fine. What I might want to do is just start setting up Ancient Protectors here for later. Leave it a little opening so that we can get our other trees out. Back them out where necessary. Didn't I have some that I had like moved up that I never rooted? Oh, here he is. Yeah, go ahead.
On your mark.
Okay, back him up.
Something is amiss.
Am I holding more mines? No. I'll go buy some more. Where are you going? What are you doing? Probably trying to get to buildings. I think I had a building in progress. They like to go for those. Okay, do your thing. Alright, let's turn off searing arrows.
Research.
And kill this.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
And yeah, the crit fiends, I mean, again, I'm not putting as much effort into this mechanically as I should. When I say things like, talk about like mechanical skill, it's just like how fast you're clicking and moving around the map. Partly it's because I'm lazy, and I'm like, again, when you're a little daunted by a map, I think it's a good idea for like a walkthrough to show you, like, look, you don't need to be doing all sorts of crazy stuff. As long as your macro is decent on this map, and your positioning is decent, you know, again, you don't have to be doing a bunch of stuff in these fights, unless you want to really hold on to, like, Jaina's base, which, again, you can go watch my other playthrough for how I did that. I'm sure someone else has already made a walkthrough of how to do it on this map, and I really doubt it's particularly crazy or challenging to do.
Is complete.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Buy that extra stack. Then we could buy a Pot of Invulnerability so that she can channel Starfall where necessary.
By Elune.
Just gonna put down all these mines. Starfall in 8 seconds. We could use it on this wave depending on who's coming with it. Again, if you see a double hero wave and one of them is not a Netheron, that's when you want to Starfall. And note to self, don't Starfall right in the flip in front like a dummy.
The goddess calls.
Try to keep that in mind. Let's get her up. Let's put some mana on her too. We have open slots on her. We can also go around and we can get all of the extra units from the forest. I kind of like the idea of not having to involve them so that they don't die.
Someone threatens the wilds. By Elune.
We are protectors of the forest. We don't need to get the forest involved. There's Rage. You know what? Let's Starfall this one. And keep in mind it lasts 45 flippin' seconds, so it's good to start channeling it early to get the cooldown going. It's interesting how it's proccing on the Infernals, but it won't do any damage.
Our warriors have engaged.
Okay, so it's not a double hero wave, but again, this is sort of a free wave.
Our sacred world is being desecrated.
And the range on Malfurion's ability is pretty long too. I like that. Can I use this pot and do you think it will cancel the Starfall? We can afford to try it. It does. It does cancel the Starfall. Again, you live and learn. You can use Jay Barrino's playthroughs not to observe perfection, but to see, hey, if you have an archer that's bloodlusted and you mount her on a hippogriff, the hippogriff rider will not have bloodlust. Further, you can't use an item, you can't use a consumable. Oh, it was a double hero wave. Weird. Oh, that was a good time to use Starfall.
Someone
Just give me some more trees.
Our sacred grove is being desecrated.
Ow. Okay, lost a lot of stuff there. Yeah, sure, more hippogriffs.
Our warriors have engaged.
And it's only it's like 3.5 minutes, little more than that, so we are in great shape.
Our sacred grove is being desecrated.
Our sacred grove is being desecrated.
The goddess calls.
Alright, what would really break this map is if you had the ability to build
Waiting on you.
Or to buy healing
I
wards.
stand
That would be
ready.
way
Our
too
sacred
good.
grove is being
Say no
desecrated.
more.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
And pretty much right near the end is where you start running out of resources as well. So it's pretty, again, I think this is a really good, well-balanced map. I think they did a good job with it. Just entangling roots something. Again, Thrall's got his weird bottom part covered. And then meanwhile, we just keep making those archers. Got plenty of money. And we also get the Kodo Beast buff, which is a nice passive buff. And because it's sort of stuck behind these buildings, it all sort of works out. Is there a hero in here? No, there's just so many meat wagons. My god. But, like, the more that I think about how, like, the human base is designed versus the orc base, and the way that, you know, the timer works and resetting enemy waves, the more I realize, like, I think this is the right way to design a holdout. You know, having allies that can support you if you're there to support them in the right ways, but also design in ways such that they're probably going to fall around a specific time. Just naturally, like if you ended this mission blind and all you do is build an army, you don't even necessarily have to have a specific strategy, but you know, you're building an army and getting sort of maxed out. As long as you're doing that,
Making trails.
then again, your allied bases will probably naturally fall at a specific time.
I'm game.
So I don't know. I think I thought that was pretty well
Take
done.
wing.
Has sleep dulled my senses?
All right. Wow. Hippogriff riders have 6 armor.
Waiting on you. Point the
Lot.
way.
Well, I guess archers do too. Weird.
Has sleep
All right.
dulled
Where you
my
at,
senses?
Saranda?
The wild,
Mines.
as
One
the
more
goddess
round of
wills.
mines to help us against the infernals. That's really all. Again, the mines specifically think of as infernal deterrents. So you want to put them on top of your units because they don't do friendly fire, and it's for when Big
As
Boy
the goddess
Anetheron
wills.
drops those infernals. So he drops them, they land on the mines, and then poof, they just evaporate. At least 1 or 2 of them will.
I heed the voice of Elune. By Elune.
Something
And that is good
amiss.
strategy. That is not cheese. We have Starfall up. Pretty big attack here, but I don't see an enemy hero, so should be good. A lot of these Ancient Protectors are surprisingly still alive. Now again, keep in mind in Reign of Chaos, those Hippogriff Riders were just slamming this Abomination. That Abomination would have died like instantly. Again, you see like major differences because of these damage modifiers. I think that's a noticeable difference. I also quite like how it's much clearer what the range of rejuvenation is. You very clearly can see where the range is because you can see the units that are getting hit by it. I appreciate that.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Yeah, the meat wagons are just so much more effective because of how fast they can nuke down your dryads specifically because they're unarmored. So that's why actually archers are better because they take reduced damage from the Now that I'm thinking like, okay, what if I wanted to do like a semi-perfect defense for Jaina's base? Honestly, mass archers and hippogriff riders, but being just a lot more
Come,
delicate.
you night elves. Where is the fire and the passion with which you fought so long ago?
All right, we're just gonna leave Thrall to his own devices.
Has
Sorry, buddy.
sleep dulled my senses?
Being a lot more delicate with where you use Starfall and making sure Tyrande doesn't die or get stunned out of it. It's just that easy. And that's because,
Someone
again,
threatens the
originally, I don't think meat wagons were doing as much increased damage to
So
dryads
Is there
in Reign of
trouble?
Chaos, which is why they were that much more effective, because then you could dispel the Banshee Curse, dispel Cripple, all that stuff. But now, because dryads aren't as viable, I think it makes sense
Fair enough.
probably... Oh, there he is. I think it makes more sense to probably...
Our allies' town
Okay,
needs
it's
help.
over. Yeah, probably just go archers, because they take less damage from the meat wagons specifically, and hippogriff riders don't do nearly as much damage to the Doom Guards and Infernals, so why spend the extra supply to mount up the archers? What happened to the rest of my base?
Archimonde's victory here has made him overconfident. He will not see the trap that I laid for him until it is too late.
At last, the way to the World Tree is clear. Witness the end, you mortals. The final hour has come.
The Outlanders held him back as long as they could. Were you successful in planning the summit's defense?
Yes. Now our victory is assured.
The roots will heal in time, as will the entire world. The sacrifices have been made. Just as the orcs, humans, and night elves discarded their old hatreds and stood united against a common foe, so did nature herself rise up to banish the shadow forever. As for me, I came back to ensure that there would be a future, to teach the world that it no longer needed guardians. The hope for future generations has always resided in mortal hands. And now that my task is done, I will take my place amongst the legends of the past.
Wonderful. We've done it. Let's go and see our completed Night Elf screen. Yeah, going into Terror of the Tides next time. Very nice. All hard mode completed. You know, we've gotta change our portrait as we complete each of these. Alright, so there we go. We get Medivh because we did it all on hard. There we go. Done. It's interesting how Warcraft 3 follows this pretty much the same general story flow as StarCraft, in the sense that the original base game is about these different races coming together to battle an existential threat. And it's the same in Warcraft in the sense that you play as the Undead, which are the tools of the Burning Legion, which is the same as playing as the Zerg. And then after you play as them, you have to bring these other races together to fight them. And then the expansion is more of a personal story. It's less, again, about this existential threat per se. It's just about like these remaining factions sort of squabbling. And I guess the UED in Brood War counts as the existential threat. And the UED is comparable to the Naga, for example, I think, in Warcraft 3. Again, there are a lot of parallels in these stories. They just take place in different universes, obviously. But you can just see, the Arthas Kerrigan comparison as well. Their motivations are different, but it's just, they both become evil and then they win at the end against all odds. I think is a neat little... It's like poetry, it rhymes. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.